Hello everybody, and welcome to Hungary's premier language learning video blog. I'm your host, Michael Lyons. After a long holiday break, after an extended summer vacation, the blog is back and better than ever. Because it is September and everyone is going back to school and back to work, I thought that today we could look at some expressions related to school and studying. What do you say? Let's do it. Let's say that you have exams. You have a test scheduled in school or in class. What do you do to make sure that the test is successful? Well, the first expression that we're going to look at is to prepare for. To prepare for, which simply means to read, to memorize for the test or for the exam. For example, she spent a lot of time preparing for the test, and as a result, she was successful. The next expression that involves reading, looking at things for the test, memorizing things, is to study for something. For example, have you studied for your economics exam yet? If not, you'd better get started. That's to study for something. And now, for every student's favorite technique, cramming. If you have a long time to prepare or study for a test, but you wait until the very last minute to do 90% of the studying, as most students do, we call that cramming, to cram for a test or an exam. For example, like most university students, he crammed for his exams. In other words, he did all of his studying at the last minute. Notice, with all three of those expressions, you say prepare for, study for, cram for a test or an exam. The next expression is to learn something or know something by heart. If you learn or know something by heart, it means that you know it so well that you can say it or write it without having to think about it. You know it by memory. For example, it took a long time for me to learn the speech by heart, but with lots of practice, I succeeded in the end. You could also say, I had to go over the poem many times before I learned it by heart. The next set of expressions we're going to look at is also related to tests and taking tests. First of all, what do you do with a test? You take a test, okay? You don't do a test, you take a test. That means that you sit down and you fill out the test. What are the possible outcomes, the possible results of a test? Well, if things go well, then you pass the test. If you pass the test, that means that everything is okay. And if you fail the test, unfortunately, that means that you may have to take it again. So you can pass or fail a test. And if you do really well on a test, we say that you passed with flying colors. That means that you did very, very well on the test. And one more bonus expression for today's video. If you would like someone to read something to you so that you can hear it, how would you say that? Well, you would not say, and you would not ask someone to read it loudly, because if you ask someone to read something loudly, that means they're going to start shouting at you. What you would really like someone to do is read it in a way that you can hear it, so you would ask them to read it to you out loud. Could you please read that sentence or that paragraph out loud for me? So that's the last expression from today's video. Can you think of any other expressions related to school or studying? If so, go ahead and post them in the comments underneath the video on the website or on our Facebook page. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you for joining us, and see you next time. Cheers.